Hello everyone, welcome to TechEd 2022. My name is Srinivasan. I'm the product manager from Even by GDS. I comes with 2 decades of functional and product consulting experience. Together with me, my co-presenter Ruslan and Rakesh to start their introduction. Ruslan, over to you.
Thank you, Sino. So my name is Ruslan, and I'm a product functional SMR at EY, and I will be presenting the deep dive regarding the functional side of this product. And thank you very much, and forwarding to Rakesh to present himself.
Thank you, Sinu and Ruslan. So I am Rakesh Verma, lead SAP product architect at EY GDS India. And today I am going to walk you through some of the technical aspects of our use case, which is EY production shop floor analytics. And with that as a use case, we are going to cover for you how we can build SAP UI5 analytics screen, leveraging the power of SAP BTP platform. So with that, I would like to request Sinu to share the agenda of this session. Thank you.
Thank you, Rakesh. Thank you, Ruslan, for your introduction. So let's move on to the agenda for this session. So we have the introduction and use case overview that will be run by me, and which is primarily focusing on how we developed our use case based on SAP analytical charts and powered by SAP Business Technology Platform as well as the HANA Cloud service. And we do have the use case deep dive by Ruslan, which primarily focusing on to get the data from SAP production planning from S4 HANA. And the rest of the technical architecture, BTP services, and other aspect will be taken care by Rakesh, product architect. And yeah, with that, let's move on to the use case overview. So here, one of the use case overview, we do have the production shop floor supervisor, who is our one of the critical persona in manufacturing industry, and who has the critical responsibilities such as ensuring that on-time product delivery within the schedule, and also the quality conformance, and also the efficient resource planning and capacity planning, and also with the cost control with the proactive machine maintenance planning. There are few, and let's talk about the challenges we have it in our shop floor. So we have ineffective of resource optimization, and we are not able to get the complete view of production as well as the 360 view of a machine, and also there are challenges. We are getting the real-time machine parameters and inefficiency in the reporting as well as resulting in the low quality of products. And in our use case, we build based on the EY shop floor analytics. It is based on digital twin solution powered by industrial IoT solution and S4 HANA, and also the SAP Business Technology Platform. So these are the combination we developed the use case, and primarily it helps to get the complete 360 view of the machines along with the control view of equipments. So primarily it can also support the capacity planning decision as well as anomaly analysis. So there are some challenges we can able to get out of this EY shop floor analytics. So based on that challenges, we come up with the 8 future or use cases, and let's talk about one by one. So we have production order analytics, and this production order analytics primarily focusing to get the SAP production planning as well as get the work center capacity information. So main information is passed from S4 to production order. We can able to get the complete view of the production to get the better forecasting. And next we have the shop floor control tower. This primarily focusing the 360 view of machine as well as the efficiency, and to get the better controlling over schedule. And we have the machine efficiency analysis, basically to improve the overall equipment efficiency, to improve the machine efficiency as well. So next will be the machine health monitoring. See, this basically helpful to get the predictive maintenance scenario, and to avoid any downtime in occurrence in the production. So basically it get the detail from real-time information from sensor, as well as get the rule-based trigger, and as well as get the email to the any shop floor analytics person. And next we have the asset notification. Basically, this asset notification is come from any IoT sensor as well as service or maintenance notification. And basically to expedite the process throughout the product life cycle. And resource capacity analytics. Basically, we can able to get the complete capacity overview on the machine as well as the resource to get the better prediction of the resource to avoid any resource tracking. And we do have a critical spare part analytics, basically to get the complete overview on critical spare parts needed for any maintenance to complete the production cycle. So we have the anomaly analytics. It comes with the complete root cause analysis. It gives the breakup of all the products as well as give the complete root cause with the remedies as well as solution. And next, talk about the technology stacks. And we have built based on the industrial IoT solution. It can be from manufacturing execution system as well as SAP SCADA as well as IoT. And next, talk about the SAP Intelligent Core. This basically we consider the SAP core modules such as production planning, PPDS, plant maintenance, and HR modules. And on SAP BTP side, we consider the HANA Cloud database and SAP UI5 chart. And in this deep dive, we are going to consider only the production order analytics, and Ruslan will take over to that. And primarily, this product use case is primarily on promoting or powered by the business technology platform. Yeah, and I'm handing over to Ruslan for the deep dive session. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Sinu. To ensure all production supervisor responsibilities will be done in accordance to everyday challenges, we have created following design of the application. As a basis, we took production planet orders and production orders. As a precondition for selection, you can define default values for date range, shift or day representation, and graphical or tabular view. Information provided on this screen showing us situation for current shift, such as order number, product number, and description and quantity to be produced. Other part is showing production plan for the nearest future with details which could be displayed on daily or shift buckets. Information about work center capacity loading could be estimated comparing available capacity. In our case, we have 8-hour shift, which is highlighted by a red line, and capacity consumption by planet and production order for each shift. Such solution could be built also for different industries. For example, for process industry. Yeah, it's this differentiating is we need only to select the other standard tables to pull out data from different tables. And in terms of different orders, yeah, we have planet orders, which are created by the system automatically by MRP, which stands for Material Requirements Planning. After checking these orders, production planner is decided to convert these planet orders to production orders or not. Also, such possibility could be done in automatic way by the system. After converting planet order to production order, production planner is checking this order if it's ready for production in terms of available capacity on the resource and availability of all materials. If all these prerequisites are done and it's okay, so production planner can can change the status from the created production order and to release production order. And this released production order, it's the base which is taken into production by shop floor. And to explain more from a technical point of view, I'm passing the word to my colleague Rakesh.
So thank you, Ruslan and Sinu, first of all, for sharing insights into EY shop floor analytics, which we have built at EY, powered by SAP BTP platform and its services. So you also shared production order analytics feature, right? So it's been very helpful for our audience so far. And I'm pretty sure our audience is looking forward to further deep dive into the topic as we are heading close to our actual topic of implementation approach. So I would like to take an opportunity here to carry forward the journey from here on. So let me first of all double click on the solution architecture here. So first question is, why did we choose SAP BTP platform to build our architecture? So absolutely, that's the right question. And the BTP platform is really gives us the power and the flexibility of deployment. So we get a variety of customers and they have different choices of deployment because of security reasons and so on and so forth. So because of that, it really needs us to have our product being flexible for deployment. And that's where we get this opportunity from SAP BTP platform. Another major reason is the scalability. So we would like to scale our solution in long run. And in this agile technology world where new technologies are ever evolving, especially in the IoT space, and so on and so forth. So many new services are also getting part of the SAP BTP platform kitty. So we would like to leverage them in future and ensure that we are able to scale our solution as we go forward. Those were the two major reasons. But let me first of all bring your attention to the customer production shop floor box, which is at the very right, where actually the factory is set up of the customers, and there are sensors and there are measurement devices installed on top of those machines. These sensors and measurement devices actually measures the various key operating parameters of the machines. For example, pressure, temperature, and all other important parameters, right, which are health parameters of machine. So basically that is the data which we are trying to connect to SAP MES product, and it's an on-premise component of SAP which actually helps us get the data using plant connectivity infrastructure, and then that data is the real industrial IoT data, which then we further play around and showcase in our solution in the right filtered way. Talking about SAP S4 HANA, which is our intelligent core, this is actually the core where all our technical configuration as well as all our data is hosted in. So the various modules like production planning, product plant maintenance, PPDS, and all of that modules which we are leveraging here, the real core data source is SAP S4 HANA. Now the S4 HANA data is being pulled into the BTP platform using this SAP connectivity service or cloud connector services configuration, and then there is an integration suite service which is SAP Smart Data Integration, SDI. This SDI is really a service which helps us provision our on-premise data into the cloud. When I say cloud, our destination becomes our database, which is SAP HANA Cloud. Again, SAP HANA Cloud is the database as a service on SAP BTP platform with a lot of powers to virtualize, do modeling, as well as the predictive and other capabilities of scalability of the database itself intelligently. So we will talk more about those services in detail in the next slide. Further talking about the Business Application Studio, which is a development platform. It's a platform where we can do the modular development of all the front end, the middleware, as well as the back end development, just in one tool. So using that, we finally build our SAP UI5 project, which is a front end user interface. And UI5 and Fiori gives us the capability to bring up Fiori projects, Fiori front ends, where analytical screens can be developed using the controls available out of the box from SAP and can be binded with the NodeJS services. Finally, those are hosted in the Launchpad, which are also very responsive when it comes to any form factor like desktop, like mobile, any form factor which the customer would be comfortable with. This is all about the architecture. Let's further take a look at these services, the BTP services, which really enabled us build this whole solution. Okay. First and the foremost, SAP HANA Cloud. It's a database as a service on cloud, on SAP BTP platform within Cloud Foundry. This is actually a very powerful database where we have the capability to scale the database capacity, and we can also architect like the spaces when it comes to the hot space, the warm and the cold space requirements of database. Also, it's not only about the scaling, it's also the it's very price effective when it comes to usage of this database, right? At the same time, it gives us a lot of capability of data modeling. The way we want to show analytical KPIs, we can perform all the sorts of data modeling on top of SAP HANA Cloud. Also, virtualization of data, because we would not like to kind of disturb the core, which is our S4 HANA system. Rather, we pull in all the virtual tables from SAP S4 HANA, and then on top of these virtual tables, we perform a lot of other operations. And then one of the key core capabilities also predictability. So the predictive algorithm capability of SAP HANA Cloud is very useful when it comes to designing the predictive scenarios like forecast. Let's bring our focus to SAP Fiori UX, the very important second service, where we build the front end using SAP UI5 controls. So if we go into the on-demand SAP UI5 website of SAP, we can definitely look into a lot of controls which are available out of the box from SAP. Specifically on analytics also, there's an ample options to leverage, and their properties, their usage, tutorials, everything is available. So we leverage that UI5 capability and to build these analytical front ends. Coming to SAP Business Application Studio, it's, as I mentioned, it's a modular development tool. So it's a development environment where the middleware Node.js, the front end SAP UI5, as well as the back end SAP HANA Cloud, and the connectivity towards SAP S4 HANA, all of them can be accessed at just one single platform. This is also can be integrated with SAP Git, the Git repository, whichever you want to use, you can integrate with that, and then you can set up the CI/CD pipeline to do the deployment further. But to do the deployment, we also need to do the packaging of the whole solution. That all can be done within SAP BAS. So quite a powerful tool, which is also coming up with a lot of low code, no code features as well. So it's evolving very fast. SAP Smart Data Integration. So as SAP SDI is an integration suite service. It's very helpful when it comes to replication of the data from the on-premise systems, be it SAP HANA or be it SAP S4 HANA. So we can replicate all of that data into our SAP HANA Cloud using SDI as a service. So that is where it really helps. Now let's deep dive into our methodology of development. So now I'm going to share with you how did we design our solution and what was our implementation flow when it comes to UI5 charts. Yeah. First screen is very much your SAP S4 HANA production orders. So what we showed here is few of your production planning related tables, which are there part of SAP S4 HANA. These are the tables which are standard tables. We integrated it to SAP Business Technology Platform via Cloud Connector framework and the connectivity framework of SAP BTP platform. With that, we were able to virtualize the data within SAP BAS tool. So the next screen which you see is SAP BAS tool, where you can see the HANA view as well, HANA Explorer, and you can see actually the virtual tables and the tables which are available in SAP S4 HANA. So we virtualize that table, and then we can play around with that table, which means we are definitely going into the modeling phase of it. So we start doing the data modeling on top of these tables the way we want to represent in our screen. So basically our screen shows the current shift and the data which is related to the upcoming next 2 weeks of planned and production orders. So we did all that data modeling on top of HANA Cloud. Moving forward, since now we have the data modeling done, we need to expose all these data models via a service so that UI5 screens can consume it. So when we expose it via NodeJS services, which is, you can see these screenshots on top of BTP platform. So those NodeJS services will be available to see the metadata around that. So the very bottom screen which you see here, screenshot which you see here is NodeJS service metadata. It's just an example of production order operation, that how the metadata in the form of a JSON format looks like. So this really gives us the flexibility to consume it, read it, and the way we can use the entities to bind to the front end. Let's take this example of production order service metadata as well, where you can see the production order IDs, production order scheduling details, as well as the capacity details and the forecasting details. So all of those details which we received from backend S4 HANA, as well as which are modeled on the SAP HANA Cloud, is been exposed within this service, which is called production order service. So this is an illustration. So let's go to the final screen where we can talk about the real design of the front end now. So our services are ready from the back end till now. Now building the UI5, using the UI5 control to build a UI5 project, and we can use the control views, the UI5 control for analytical views, which are all available in the UI5 library. So on-demand library, we can look into them, and we can even use the sample code from there to build these views. After that, we can do we need to do the Node.js service integration with the UI. So there is a interface provided for the integration. Then we do the entity binding at the controller level. So the piece of code is very obvious, and it is also available in all the blogs. And then finally, when we do the deployment, then the UI5 analytics dashboard is how does it look like. So you really design with measures and then you consume it in the analytical reports. Key takeaway of this particular whole session is, like, how did we design these UI5 analytical charts with the help of one of our use cases, shop floor analytics. With that, I would like to thank you, my co-presenter Sinu and Ruslan, for walking us through this session, and also thank to each one of you for being available for the session. Please enjoy rest of your TechEd 2022 sessions. Happy learning. Thank you.